Welcome to episode 248 of the week of UFO Buster Radio. Let me tell you, I've been so dedicated to this shit this week, you have no fucking idea. Literally, I've been turning things upside down, ignoring people like people have come close to dying because I'm on here right now. And I would like to share those stories with you, but I won't. Because that's not what you hear about. But I will share other stories with you because we have something to talk about today. It is a news article that came out today. More science bullshit about our solar system. And you know how I feel about it. It is 4.2 far fucked up for us to even listen to it. By the way, if you don't know yet, and you actually clicked on this because somebody said Manny Moonraker is up to episode almost up to 300,000, and you should check it out, and you're like, oh, it's another UFO podcast. I love those. They have great people that show up, and they're so kind and generous, and they talk about their publications. No! You just fucked up. You fucked up because you didn't read the fine print that said it is explicit. You're welcome. You're welcome. Sometimes you get angry. You know, sometimes you like to be over there and you want to eat your cookies and cream and you want to have your nice coffee in the morning. But sometimes you have to explode and be angry as fuck. That's the way you got to be about ufology. So you pick yourself up by your big girl panties and you just be angry. Be angry about it because you're not going to get any answers unless that's the way you roll. And if this is the first time you're listening to UFO Buster Radio, welcome aboard. I thank you for showing up. Now, don't be wet behind the ears and shit and not listen to any other episodes. You need to listen to at least 4 episodes. I guarantee you, in those 4 episodes, you will laugh your ass off. And you're probably going to look down and say, wait, I do wear my grandma's panties. Oh, I do wear big girl panties. I don't know what it is. You figure out what the hell you do. Today we're going back to the whole science problem. The problem with science. And if you guys don't know, again, this is a somewhat satirical look at ufology, the pseudoscience of UFOs and aliens in our universe. Not just our galaxy or our solar system. Not just on fucking Mars. Everywhere. Just fucking everywhere. And how things don't fit. Yeah. Apparently, there is a square hole we're trying to put like a triangular cube into. You see what I mean? Everything I just said was so fucked up. You don't even know. You don't even know what I'm putting anywhere. That's the way science is. That's the way we see ufology. That's the way we see the alien thing. And if you want to put on a Naturo outfit and run until the bullets go past you, whizzing by, good luck with that shit. I'm sorry, but no, I don't care what the fuck you believe in. Definitely bullets, they will fuck you up. Plain and simple. Don't run past them. Don't try to hide. The shit is fucked up. Don't do it. Don't listen to Maddie. Maddie on Facebook, all of a sudden, is drinking the juice. And he's going to make a festival out of it now. Because I swear that the way this is coming out, it seems like he's never heard of a UFO conference in his whole fucking life, which is probably like 18 years. I'm just saying. I'm not hating on him. Just put down the weed. So today we have a story about our own solar system. And I'm not saying this and I'm not covering it because I need to. I'm covering it because it's another example how shit just does not fit. It just does not fit. And we are stuck in this vicious, ugly circle of things that don't make sense. For example, I was talking to someone today. I was talking about folks that have an accent, right? You have an accent. Yeah, I have an accent. You have an accent. I have an accent. A lot of people have accents. Stop fucking around. It's America, right? I know some of you guys are in Australia. Some of you guys are in Canada. You're in Germany, the UK, Japan, and the list goes on and on. But if you're talking to me, you have an accent. If some people are talking to me in the state that I live in, they might say, I have an accent. So we were talking about today about the fact that sometimes you need to read into a little bit more of that accent. If you're trying to explain something important to someone and they have an accent and they look at you a little puzzled, guess what? Your fucking accent is not getting through to them. Yeah, I don't care where you're at. Whether you're coming from South America to the U.S. and you're talking to someone that's been here, or vice versa. If you're some American who's going on South America and somebody in South America is talking to you, on and on and on, you're looking at them like the dog that's trying to understand whether or not you're asking them to go potty or have breakfast. You give that puzzled look. You turn your head a little bit to the left, then a little bit to the right. Your ears kind of perk up a little bit. But in your mind, you're thinking, what the fuck is he saying? I don't get it. Science does that to people. Even the simplest shit. We do that turn like your puppy does. Like, oh, great. Oh, I like your pencil pocket protector. But what are you saying? I like your thick black framed glasses and your really, nice hair, nice and trimmed, almost like a salad bowl. But what the fuck are you saying to me right now? Anyway, let me get back to the conversation before you get to the news thing. So somebody said to me, sometimes you have an accent. No shit, I never said I didn't. And they say, well, sometimes you say coffee instead of coffee. Really? Yeah, I say it the right way. It's coffee. It's not cafe. It's not cafe. It's coffee. Yeah, I'm from New York. I was born and raised in New York, and it's coffee. And then they say, oh, sometimes you don't even say your R's right. And in my head, I'm thinking, you rat fink. Do you understand that? Yeah, that was an R in there somewhere. My point is to bring you back around. I kind of went on a tangent. I don't know if I was upset about that today. I was just thinking, tomato, kiss my ass. But what I'm here to say is, science talks a different language altogether. It has an accent to its own. But sometimes that accent is so stuck in what it's trying to say that it completely loses what the fuck the person that's looking at it, researching it, reading it, what the fuck they want to know about, and what's important to them. They stick to what they're talking about no matter what you want to know about. It's what they postulate. It's their theories. It's their language. It's their fucking accent. So, with that said, let's get into the article for today. Yeah, there was a time that I used to follow a particular person on Twitters. And they also had a website. And you guys might know this person. They were called the Angry Ufologist. Yeah, I might be angry. I might be upset about this, but I'm not a ufologist. So all you men in black people, kiss my ass. Don't come knocking on my door. There was a story today. For the love of fucking Pete. Look at this. Apparently it got misspelled. There was a story today about Jupiter smashing or being smashed. Because I guess if you were the smasher, you got smashed and the smashee survived. Jupiter got smashed by another planet 4.5 billion years ago. I'm going to repeat this again. We had these numbers yesterday again. 4.5 billion years ago. The number is important. It is phenomenal. It is fantastic. It is who the fuck cares? I'm just going to put that out there to you. That's right. So our system's largest gas giant, because it's a little gassy, apparently got smacked into by another planet which no longer exists because there was the smasher and the smashee. And one of them did not survive. Yeah, that happened. So, yeah, at one time, we had 10 planets, right? Then there was some smashing, and we're down to 9. And then some scientists came and said, no, fuck you. Pluto is not even a fucking planet. Then we lost another one. And we will continue to lose planets and find some and lose them again. That's the way science is. Apparently, somebody named Andrea Isella, which is a co-author of a study that was conducted at Rice University, she said in a statement that this is puzzling. She was puzzled, by the way. She was puzzled, but that's why she gets paid the medium bucks. It suggests that something happened that stirred up the core, quote unquote, of Jupiter, and that's where giant impacts come into play. I'm not sure what she's talking about there, but anyway, initially she was skeptical about the whole idea that anything would have crashed, especially the size of a planet, into Jupiter. But, there was someone who convinced her of it, someone by the name of Shange-Fei Liu from Shange-Yat-sen University of China. And he was a postdoctoral researcher at Rice. Whew. Be careful of what comes out of China. That's all I got to say. I'm not saying anything else. She says it sounded very unlikely to me, like 1 in a trillion probability, but Shange-Fei convinced me by sheer calculations that this was not improbable. So he basically took a pencil to a napkin somewhere when they were out having lunch and said, "This is how it went down, lady. Now what?" And all of a sudden, she says, "Oh, that kind of makes sense. How do you go from 1 in a trillion to, hey, Shange-Fei, you're right." This is what science deals with. This is what it is. It's mind-boggling how this conversation probably would have happened. This makes no sense. You don't go from 1 in a trillion to numbers on a napkin to, yeah, this is what happened to Jupiter. It got smacked in by another planet. So where's the evidence of the other planet? That's what I want to know. But I digress. Let's continue. Because it's dense and it comes in with a lot of energy, the impactor would be the other planet. Would be like a bullet that goes through the atmosphere and hits the core head on. I don't know what she's talking about. What kind of movies does she watch? Then she continued to say, before impact, you have a very dense core surrounded by atmosphere. The head-on impact spreads things out, diluting the core. I'm not sure she's talking about planets at this point. You guys got to figure that one out. Seems like she might have been charged by Shange-Fei Liu. That's what it sounds like to me. But here's a problem. So Shange-Fei Liu, Shang Yat, he basically put this down on a napkin somewhere and said, this is what happened 4.5 billion years ago. How does anyone even believe this stuff? How can you sit there and come up with these ridiculous fucking numbers? 4.5 billion. I guarantee anyone in their mind right now, this second, cannot even postulate how many commas that is. You're actually going to have to look away, think for a second, pause the podcast, and probably pull out your calculator on your phone and try to put those commas together. And then put that into years. It doesn't calculate. It just doesn't. It's the same thing with what happens outside of our own solar system. So you're basically saying that these folks who yesterday, in the podcast episode yesterday, are telling us that planets who are billions of light years away will probably glow like the last dragon to let us know that there could be life there. That in that same time frame, Jupiter got smacked into by another planet in our solar system, but yet, here's a big yet, Planet 9 or Planet X, which they've proven mathematically exists, cannot be found. But yet you're going to sit there and tell me that there was another planet that hit Jupiter 4.5 billion years ago. Who writes this stuff? Who is the dark soul who sits around writing this shit and passes it along to all the PhDs? Does anyone even think that this is just plain plumb crazy? Are these guys even reading each other's papers? That probably is a first step. Yeah, hey Bob just said that if the planet glows about 10 billion light years away, then it's got aliens. Oh no, but George from Little China said, hey, 4.5 billion years ago, another planet crushed in... What? Another planet? Are you serious? We can't even get past the count that we currently have. I don't know. None of this really makes sense. The numbers are all over the place. If you can't figure out what the fuck is happening in our own solar system, how can you tell me what happened 5 billion years ago at the center of the universe? We just had a story this week where a black hole, Sagittarius, I think it's I or A or some shit like that, in the center of our own Milky Way galaxy, it's flashing. It was flashing back in June. Bright flashes. Wait a minute, I thought that black holes suck up every bit of light around it. Why would it flash at all? Again, does that make sense to anyone? None of this makes sense at all. None of it. Then we had another story this week where apparently there was a star that was older than everything around it, and they're saying it's older than the Big Bang. So essentially, this star was around before the Big Bang. I don't understand. How is that possible? How the fuck did you measure that, by the way, when you can't even figure out what's in our own solar system? Again, it just does not match. So, I understand when people say that I am a critic. No, I'm not necessarily a critic. I'm not upset about this. I'm just a bit satirical because it makes no sense. There's irony in that. There's pure, critical, unbelievable irony in the fact that there's scientists who are saying they identified things billions of years in the past, but today they can't even get their happy asses to the nearest planet. Entirely ridiculous and nonsense. This is UFO Buster Radio. I'm Manny Moonraker, and I'm glad that I was here to torture you for the last 18 minutes. But I can't explain this. I really cannot explain this. But don't forget to follow the podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The links are in the description if you so wish. The link to this, Impactor, Impactee situation is also in the description if you want to read the full article. But like I said, I can't explain this. And that's the name of our song today as we outro out. There's no way to explain this nonsense. It's ridiculous. Ciao. Until next time. Bez vidania. Adios.